Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paris Air Show. Although we're in the land of Airbus, I'm going to talk a little about the most promising aircraft in the skies today, which is the Boeing 787. Built by the famous Boeing Aircraft Company, who has been building aircraft since over 100 years. They are best known for building the Boeing 747, better known as the Jumbo. The Boeing 787 is a new star in the lineup, built with a fuselage assembled with one-piece composite barrel sections instead of multiple aluminum sheets. The 787 is truly something new. The 787's fuel efficiency is second to none, with a whopping 20% below a comparable 767. Also, the Boeing 787 is the fastest selling wide-body aircraft to date, although it experienced some certification troubles and more recently trouble with the new design batteries. The 787 is still a marvelous feat of engineering. This can be supported by Boeing Chief Executive Jim McNeary, who said the following: "We are confident the 787 is safe and we stand behind its overall integrity." My fellow speakers will demonstrate to you why the Boeing 787 is the game changer that the market hoped for.
My name is Luke, and this is part 2 of the Lindbergh Group project. As Nick said, the new Dreamliner is a game changer for the aviation industry, specifically for Boeing. Boeing hasn't released a commercial jet of this size in nearly 16 years and has fallen behind their European competitor Airbus in sales. All this means is that Boeing has had plenty of time to do their research. I will explain why the Dreamliner is a jet that both the airline industry and the customers will enjoy. I've had the pleasure of flying on the Dreamliner multiple times during international flights. There are 3 main things that the passengers will notice inside the modern cabin: the mood lights, extra leg room, and more visual space. The LED multicolored cabin lights match the events happening inside of the aircraft. It subtly changes to simulate dusk just after meal service, dawn prior to breakfast, or a calming blue while you relax. In addition, the cabin air isn't as dry as in the past, leaving you less jet-lagged. However, this isn't just an airplane for the people, it's an airplane for the industry as well. As Nick said before, the Dreamliner is around 20% more fuel efficient than the aircraft it is intended to replace. This is a huge money saver in the airline industry. The Dreamliner does this through its lightweight composite materials, improved aerodynamics, and more efficient engines. Since jet fuel costs are on the rise, airplanes are desperately seeking ways to save money. Some airlines' fuel costs have now risen above their labor cost. The Dreamliner is very attractive in this aspect. It will also have reduced maintenance costs due to the utilization of composite materials. The savings will continue into the future as the composite materials are less prone to stress, fatigue, and corrosion. With this type of aircraft, it is easy to see why there will be a huge backlog on order for them. There are currently around 900 Dreamliners backlogged from airlines around the world. Boeing has run into a few difficulties with production, including lack of supplies and building materials, worker strikes, and more recently, the battery issues. Patrick will now tell you a little more about that. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Patrick Finnecane, and I'll be giving you main point number 2, the certification issues and latest battery issues for our group. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner, or B787, is a great aircraft for the new age with its composite uses with the aircraft design. Though with every new product that is new in design, it will have its flaws. The only problem with this flaw is that it's not something usually normal to that new aircraft get. Since the release of the B787, it has flown over 52,000 hours and has one little issue that continues to arise: the battery. A lithium-ion type made of lithium cobalt oxide, or LiCoO2, has become the issue. During operation of the 787, the batteries begin to react with the elements inside and have caused it to what the NTSB investigation has found out, to have a thermal runaway. When a battery reacts inside the point of having a thermal runaway, it gets so hot that it ends up melting itself and later catches on fire. Since the build of the Boeing 787, the only aerospace lithium-ion battery available at the time was the lithium cobalt oxide batteries. But since then, there have now been new designs in lithium-ion batteries, the lithium iron phosphate, that now have been created to reduce the risk of thermal runaway. Boeing did not use this newer type of battery because in its contracts when the aircraft was designed, it was contracted to use the lithium cobalt oxide batteries. On January 16, 2013, in Japan, both major airlines had voluntarily grounded their B-787s after not having one or two, but multiple emergency landings. After that happened, the very same day, the FAA issued an emergency airworthiness directive ordering all U.S. airlines to ground their Boeing 787s until further modifications came to be designed for the electrical systems to help and reduce the risk of battery overheating and thermal runaway. Since this issue has cost one of Japanese major airlines upward of over $1.1 million lost per day, some experts talk of an airframe change to the Airbus design. Because it is taking too long to resolve the issue for the Boeing aircraft, Airbus CEO Fabrice Berger didn't think that the major airline would change from Boeing to Airbus aircraft. He also states that the Boeing has been designing aircraft for some time and he thinks that they will fix their issues with the Boeing 787. Though, since January 17th of 2013, all 50 Boeing 787 Dreamliners have been grounded until further test flights can be made to resolve the issue. Mike Schmidt, Vice President and Chief Project Engineer of Boeing, states, "This has been one of Boeing's most exhaustive certification efforts ever. Boeing received its FAA type certificate in August of 2011, and it was one of the longest and most rigorous in Boeing's history. This issue with the batteries has cost Boeing and its airworthiness certificate for the 787 Dreamliner. Hopefully soon the battery issue will be resolved so that many major airlines will not have to continue to lose money because of the aircraft not being in operation. I hope that Boeing fixes their aircraft, because if not, many manufacturers or many airliners may change to another airframe. Thank you."
Since the inception of manned flight in 1903, great leaps and bounds have been made towards perfecting it. There have been countless failed attempts, but just as many great successes. Though it's had some initial setbacks, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner line is without a doubt a success. With its use of advanced technology, the Dreamliner line promises to deliver as a mid-sized airplane using large jet ranges, all while keeping operating costs relatively low. I would like to leave you with a quote from Otto Lilienthal, a German pioneer of aviation. He said, "To invent an airplane is nothing. To build one is something. To fly is everything." Taking a concept, producing a model, and making it airworthy is exactly what Boeing accomplished with the 787 Dreamliner.